I mean, one thing we were talking about the other day, which I think is really true, is that when you do an initial approach, you go up to a woman and you start a conversation, what you say, yes, it's important, but actually the energetic exchange between the two of you is really the key thing, isn't it? And you were talking about this. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Have you got any sort of, way to sort of elaborate on that a little bit? Because I think it's a really fascinating topic.
Yeah, I think one of the best things you can start with when you approach women is to relax into the situation as much as you can.
Okay.
And a lot of the time, we have this structure that we follow because in the end, you build more certainty around what you're doing and it allows you to relax.
Yeah.
So then when you're approaching that girl, because you have an idea of where things are going to go, usually your energy is a lot more optimistic, chilled out compared to the guy who has no idea what he's about to say. And the way I realized the importance of energy was partially because I work with a mentor who is really big on energy. So there was a time where I explored literally having the most basic conversation I could have.
Right.
And when there was a silence, instead of going, okay, I'm going to say this thing, I would just go, okay, relax attention. And I saw people would just stand there and still listen.
Right.
Even when my voice was low, even when I wasn't super expressive. And it allowed me to see when you approach a woman, the language that speaks very clearly to women, because they're a lot more intuitive, is the energy you come in with. And this is why this is such an important area that all guys should really prioritize.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I'm just scratching the surface of this stuff now, really, because I think it's really fascinating. But I'm sort of exploring ways to describe it that's going to be helpful for the viewers. But I think we all know, like I was saying yesterday, we all know that energy is a thing, because I'm sure we've all had the experience where one day we've been out and we've had some really great interactions,
Right.
and some really great reactions from other people, and then the next day we go out and the opposite is true, and we're nothing, nobody wants to talk to us and everything else. So, and we haven't changed in terms of our physical presentation or anything. So it must be something else. And the thing that it is the energy. And I'm sure, I've certainly had that experience. I've been to a social event or whatever, and I thought my energy was just really off.
Yeah.
And I can tell that the reaction I'm getting from people is not as good as it would have been otherwise. So, I mean, where do we go from there, really? I mean, I guess the energy management then is a really important part of this puzzle, right?
Yeah, the management of your energy is such a key part of all this. So I think this is also why what we preach about building every aspect of your life is a very important message. Because no matter how good your conversations are, if you're at a job you don't enjoy, if your health is not good, you're not going to come into the conversation with that optimistic, relaxed, joyful energy. For you to really get into that space, you need to build a harmonious life where you enjoy every part of your life.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this video partially for business, but also because we enjoy talking about this subject.
Yeah.
And when you live a reality you truly enjoy, your energy, your natural state becomes a lot more relaxed and positive. And this is why I think it's good to have conversation structures you can teach people.
Yeah.
But for people to take that to that next level, this whole optimizing your life as a whole is so important. And I think the reason most people don't speak about this is because there is no easy fix to it. It's something that requires constant and gradual improvement.
Yeah, it is. I saw a really good post on this about this on Reddit a little while back. But fundamentally, if there are key areas of your life that aren't really in alignment with your goals of what you want to do, you're going to be not happy, almost regardless of what you do.
Yeah.
And you can go out and you can do sports or you can lift weights and all that kind of stuff. And of course, that's going to help. Those are good things to do. But you've got to sort out the very fundamentals of your life, like where are you living, how are you earning an income, what is it that you're doing with the majority of your time, and if you can sort those things, and again, it's no easy project, but if you can start to sort those things out, then your energy is going to improve as a result of that. I think that's kind of where we're coming from on this, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think as you're sorting these things out, genuinely coming in with an attitude of gratitude for what you have.
Well,
I think
yeah.
a lot of guys have goals and they go, I should do this. I should approach women. I should go to the gym. And one thing that's really sink into me recently is we don't have anything we should do. We have things we get to do. You get to go to the gym. You get to approach a girl. If you were born a few hundred years ago, you could have been a slave and you wouldn't be worrying about talking to girls then, that's for sure.
No,
so
exactly.
understand that whatever goals you are building for, these are things you get to do. And this is not from a place of pride. You're still staying humble, but you're almost putting love into the process of actually building something. Because part of the problem with guys who have an energy that feels off is because they get obsessed about a goal. And they think, once I reach this goal, this is the salvation. But instead of doing that, instead of thinking there's an alternate reality in the future that's going to be beautiful, you can put beauty into the present moment by seeing the reality with eyes that put beauty into the world. It's almost as if, if your eyes are not good like mine, you wear a contact lens and it changes the vision.
Yeah.
You see things a lot more clearly. You could wear a contact lens of love and compassion and joy as you're moving through the world, and that's going to change the external reality as well.
So in a way, maybe am I right in saying it could be more about thinking about what you're putting out rather than what you're getting, like what you're giving rather than what you're getting? So when you go to talk to that girl, it's okay, how can I make her have a positive experience?
Right.
What can I give to her rather than, am I going to get her number or am I going to get a date?
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe is a helpful way to look at it?
Yeah, I think that's a great way to look at it. And as you're looking at it that way, try to remove the validation aspect as much as you can, because sometimes guys could also go to the opposite end where they just only care about the girl's experience. I think that's a very helpful mindset. Another thing you can do is before you approach a girl, imagine her smiling to you. No matter how she's acting, even if she has a face that looks so stern that you can't even imagine her ever smiling, ever looking happy, imagine her smiling at you. And when you approach with that energy, because the brain cannot differentiate that much between like what you visualize and what's happening in reality. So if you do that very quickly, you look at the girl, feel her energy, imagine her smiling, and imagine that warmth in your heart as much as you can. Like, big part of this is trust. If you're listening to this and you're going, wow, that's just some hippie stuff, all these energies, that lack of trust is what's preventing you from feeling this stuff. But if you put trust into your heart and you imagine her smiling, you approach, you're going to see the reaction's going to be very different compared to if you projected something more negative towards the world.
Yeah, no, indeed. And it's fascinating stuff. And I mean, as you said, however hippie-ish and whatever that it may sound, the fact is we know that it holds water because we know what it's like when we're emanating bad energy versus good energy. So we know that this is a thing, and there are things you can do to control your state. Not control, sorry, that's the wrong word. There are things you can do to assist your energy, right? And getting enough sleep. Obviously meditation, again, it's a big topic. We don't need to go into that now, but I know meditation is something that's very key for you, isn't it? Would you advise guys to look into that as well?
Yeah, if you want to change your natural state of being to a point where most of the thoughts you have are actually productive to you, highly recommend meditation. We can't get into it too much in this video, but the meditation I do is called TWIM. It's Tranquil Wisdom Insight Meditation. If you Google it on YouTube, they do have a YouTube channel where they put their talks for free, so you could just go there.
Nice.
And I think it's so important to be in that space where you can have thoughts arise and observe them just pass away. Because in the end, what's destroying your natural state of joy and love is taking those thoughts personally as who you are. So you have a thought in front of a girl and you're just like, oh, she's out of my league, and you think that's you, whereas that's just a cloud passing by. And the more distance you can put between your thoughts and who you actually are, the less phased